Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. My name is Athena, and this YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research. And we've all been joining here together about once a week for almost 12 years now. And you are very welcome here. If this is your first time clicking on one of these videos or finding this channel, I would like to warmly welcome you to our community. Your presence with us is felt and valued, even if you're not able to be here with us each and every week. As right now, what we've been doing for the past few months, I guess 6 months now. Gosh, how has it been 6 months, guys? We have been discussing Pete Walker's most recent book, Holistically Treating Complex PTSD, a six-dimensional approach. And we gather here once a week, Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern. And in previous years, we've gone through different books. Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. Books are kind of my jam. I do love meditations and nervous system regulation. We did a lot of meditations and nervous system regulation for about a year, maybe 2 years. One of our community's favorite poets is Morgan Harper Nichols. So we would read poetry, and then I would guide everyone in some gentle breath work. And we may actually weave some of that in on different days of the week as recordings that you can access anytime, and then have our weekly discussion groups on Mondays, because I know that so many of you really love the meditations and the breath work, and I don't want you to not have those. So without further delay, I want to say hello to each and every one of you who are here. I'm so grateful to be here with you. And for those of you who were here with me until the very end last week, I really just want to say thank you. Last week there was, I know now, I did not know last week, but I know now that there was a glitch in our, not our software, but there was a glitch in a software program that is used by streamers. And there are a lot of changes that have been going on with streaming, with YouTube, with just the way the world is operating in these sort of realms. So last week, for about 40 to 50 minutes, my team and I, specifically Mark, sat with me patiently as I was troubleshooting the software, trying everything I possibly could to get the stream to work. And right when I was circling the drain, having a complete and total meltdown on the inside but not on the outside, it worked. So I was about 45 to 50 minutes late last week, I think, and I do want to apologize for that. So here we are. It is Monday, December 15th. It is 7:04 p.m. Eastern. We are on week 26 of our open discussion regarding Pete Walker's book titled Holistically Treating Complex PTSD, a Six-Dimensional Approach. And I want to say hello to everyone and warmly welcome you. And then we will get started on this week's portion of the book. And before I forget, I'm going to post a link to our community. We do have a community away from social media where we connect. We're here every Monday. And then between those Mondays, like on every other day of the week, there is a community away from social media. You are more than welcome to join that. This community is the reason this YouTube channel exists. Without all of the contributions that come in financially from community members as a result of them joining. Those contributions help keep this YouTube channel in existence. It is because of this community, you, and everyone away from social media, that I'm able to get to do this work that I love. So thank you so very much. Hello and a warm welcome to you, Jen and Jeffrey, Craig and Kitty, Karen, Trains and Sirens, Candida, Brave Vanessa. Oh, who else did I miss? I know I missed someone. Nadine. If you're here and I did not say hello to you, I just want to say hi. And thank you for your presence here and for everything. The chat box is moving really, really rapidly, and it's glitchy a little bit on my end, so I haven't been able to stay completely caught up. But I do want to say a very special thank you to Jeffrey for being here and posting our crisis resources for anyone who may be in crisis. And a very special thank you also to John Harvey and Ninja Taco for keeping our thread a safe enough place for our community. And for those of you who are here and you're also in our community away from social media, my hand is just on my heart, and I'm filled with so much gratitude for the ways in which you have chosen to support this organization that is so near and dear to my heart. So last week, although it was late, we did cover a good portion of the book, and it was a very comprehensive and ended up being super hopeful and beautiful. And Pete did one of those things where he lays out all the issues and then he gives us a roadmap, like a roadmap for hope. So it was very powerful. And as a result, just so you all know, as a result of what we covered last week and the level of hopefulness that I was feeling as I was walking away from our time together, because I think we spent over an hour together just being here. And once the stream got going, it was really just a very intimate, special, connected, beautiful, co-regulating time of community and healing. I had one of the most productive and peace-filled weeks with so much felt like I had such a felt sense of safety and productivity, and I felt so regulated and calm and just like anything was possible. I knew after tackling the glitchy software situation, it's almost like I could do anything. I felt like invincible somehow after having that like sort of low, and then coming here and spending time with you all. And that was such a high. It was one of the busiest weeks, filled with so many meetings. I haven't been that busy in several months, but somehow, some way, it was great. And I think that that's a huge testament to you and in this community, how we are able to show up as ourselves, just our most authentic selves. And even if it's not perfect, even if it's totally messy, we're able to just be ourselves, and it's really wonderful. A warm welcome to you, Jennifer. Jennifer says, "Hi, Athena and everyone. I didn't get a chance to say hi to you earlier. I'm so glad to see you." Oh, I missed something. I missed something about drug cartels and someone going to prison. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I missed it, and I'm really trying to find the the spot that I missed, but I'm just offering a lot of compassion and yeah, I'm trying, but oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Thank you for sharing. I'm offering a lot of comfort and just compassion for anyone who's been affected. And I do want to pause. I was just informed about an hour ago that there was a huge tragedy at Brown University and a huge tragedy in Sydney, Australia. And I want you to know that if you have been affected by that, by anything going on, whether it was this situation with the person from all in the family, or in Sydney or at Brown University, I just want you to know that my hand is on my heart, and I'm offering you compassion and warmth, and I'm really glad that you're here tonight. So we are picking up where we left off last week. I want to just offer a slow, gentle breath. Just have a few slow, gentle breaths together, and then we will go ahead and we will begin at the top of page 388 if you have the paperback. And I'm not sure what page that would be in Kindle, but the subsection is called Optimal Stress. Warm welcome, Beauty Fashion. So glad to have you with us. We're really glad that you're here with us. We are currently in an open discussion on Pete Walker's most recently book titled Holistically Treating Complex PTSD, a Six-Dimensional Approach. And if I missed anyone earlier, Craig, did I offer you a hug? I feel like I skipped over you and didn't say hi and offer you a hug. I'm offering you a hug. Beauty Fashion says, hi Jeffrey, and thanks Athena. Hello to you. Oh, you know what? Hello Leona. I should have been able to see your avatar. All the names have changed. Great to see you. So glad you're here. Hello Merzui. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Merzui. We welcome you. We're glad you're here. Oh, so we're just going to slowly and gently breathe and sort of ease into tonight. And we're going to go ahead and let's do let's do a set of box breathing. We'll breathe in for 4 counts. We'll pause for 4 counts. We will breathe out for 4 counts and pause for 4 counts. And then we will do that 4 times. And then we will begin at the top of page 388. So if breath work isn't your jam, I want to invite you to get very comfortable or go get yourself your favorite beverage. And here we go. Begin in 3, 2, 1. Gently breathe in. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. On your own now, breathing in. And pausing. Breathing out. And pause. Again, inhale. Pausing. Exhaling. And pausing. Last time together now. Breathing in. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Breathing out. 3, 2, 1. And pause. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Beautiful breath work. I'm not sure if you can hear that Harley Davidson motorcycle that just went by, but I think he was just letting us know that our breath work was done. All done having gentle breath work. Nothing like a Harley to let you know that your gentle breath work is completely done. Oh, there's so much going on in the chat box. It's moving very fast. I'm offering comfort to anyone who needs it and a gentle hug to anyone who needs it. Oh, I see you, John Harvey. Leona says happy holidays to all. John Harvey says I'm about to enter the battlefield next week with my family as I attend 3 different Christmas parties. I am going to need gummies for that. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm with Leona. Whatever you need, John Harvey. Yes, Jen says that is so understandable, and I am in agreement. We are here. We are with you. We are beside you. We support you. And if we had virtual gummies that we could send you here, the way that you send me cake every week, that's what we would be doing. We would be sending you gummies. I don't think there is one, but I can check. Here. This is the closest I got, John. That's for you. Jinx, Jen and I are sending you gummies. Okay, so here we are. Kitty says, I'm so sorry to hear that, John. Yeah. Thank you, Brave Vanessa. Brave Vanessa gave you all the gummies. Yeah. Thank you, Nadine. Nadine says, Athena, please share again the title of the section we are in the book. Thank you, Nadine. We are on page 388, and it is the subsection titled Optimal Stress. And it is right after the subsection titled Signs of Recovering, which is basically a roadmap and a huge dose of hope that Pete gave us last week. And then right now we are in the section titled Optimal Stress, which is tagging off of that, followed by challenges and rewards for the therapist and helper. Ooh, Jeffrey Sherman gave you some delicious cookies. I see those cookies. I grew up with a family that used to make those brownies. You're very welcome, Nadine. Absolutely. So between all of the gummies and the cookies, we got you, John. We got you. So top of page 388 in a subsection titled Optimal Stress, Pete says, therapists can encourage survivors to full-heartedly embrace the long journey of recovering from their developmental trauma disorder and CPTSD by invoking the poet's words, quote, "He's not busy being born, is busy dying." Let me try that again. He, not busy being born, is busy dying. Oh, I get it. Okay. Apparently there is a poet that says that if we are not busy being born, we are busy dying. Pete says, I do this by explaining the neuroscience research that suggests that we actually need a modicum of stress in our lives. And this type of stress is called optimal stress. I've heard of this, by the way. Educators in the field of education, like teachers, some of the most wonderful teachers I know, they call this scaffolding or the productive struggle. Scaffolding for the productive struggle. And so this is what Pete is calling optimal stress, and it is science-backed. And Pete says optimal stress is the moderate and balanced amount of stress that appears to be necessary to grow the new neurons and new neuronal connections that correlate with keeping a human brain healthy. Research also shows that just as too much stress creates a biochemical condition, high cortisol levels, that can damage the brain, what is also true is that too little stress leads to the atrophy, death, and lack of replacement of old neurons. This is a key reason why lifelong learning is widely recognized as one of the essential practices necessary to avoid dementia and Alzheimer's disease. In my opinion, this is Pete Walker speaking, he says, in my opinion, lifelong recovery is a helpful subset of lifelong learning. When survivors practice the behaviors that remedy their developmental arrests, they often invoke a state of optimal stress. Examples of this include regular cardio exercising, reading self-help books, attending self-improvement workshops, working on deeper self-discovery through journaling, or struggling to be more vulnerable and authentic in therapy sessions or in an evolving relationship. I know a number of long-term recoverees who seem to be evolving and becoming sharper in their old age. Moreover, when they are managed effectively, emotional flashbacks can sometimes function as optimal stress. Top of page 389, in a section subtitled Challenges and Rewards for the Therapist or Helper. I'm going to pause right now, and I'm going to tell each and every one of you that while you may not be therapists, you are helpers. And do you want to know why I know you're a helper? Because even if you are not credentialed, even if you are not an independently licensed clinician, even if you are not a graduate of university with a degree in any form of counseling or therapeutic modalities, what you have been doing by showing up for yourself here week after week, month after month, year after year, for almost 12 years, many of you, you have been doing the deep work, doing what it takes to heal out of the room. Healing in the room and out of the room are closely connected. They are not synonymous, but they go hand in hand. So whether you've spent one day and one session in a therapy room, or 20 years in sessions in the room, healing and helping others, I want you to know that I thank you, I honor you, I honor your journey, I honor your process. And when we all show up here together, while this is not therapy, this is YouTube, this is social media, and it's a far cry from anything therapeutic, this is a therapeutic, quote unquote, safe enough space where we as peers gather together to reflect back to one another the goodness that lives inside of us as we choose to show up for ourselves and our community. And I would definitely go out on a limb and say that just as there is science proving what Pete just talked about regarding optimal stress, there is science and peer-reviewed research that proves that peer-to-peer connections are a vital source of healing for anyone who has endured repeated relational trauma. While peer-to-peer support will never replace any therapeutic modality or clinical support, licensed, ethical, trauma-informed therapeutic support that you can get from a therapist or counselor, what I will say is that I have had reflected back to me countless times that the daily recovery support calls that I facilitate and that the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research, the organization that sponsors this YouTube channel, many of you who are there, CPTSD Foundation, it has been reflected back to me that the daily recovery support calls and the supportive chat, peer-to-peer support chat environment has been an integral part of people's healing journey from complex PTSD while they are healing CPTSD. It has been vital for their wellness, and they have shared with me that finding a community such as this and being in community in the ways that we are here on Mondays is so very, very, very important for their wellness, for their well-being, for their health, for their vitality, for their longevity, for their peace, for their calm. And I am continuously grateful for the date on the calendar that you and I have every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, where I know no matter what else goes on in the week, I'm coming here. I'm going to be here with you. And very similarly, I love when I am there with our community hosting daily recovery support. There are calls every day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. On certain days, they are community calls where a facilitator is not present, where it is simply as though you all were in a chat room together. But on Saturdays and Sundays, we have things like trauma-sensitive yoga, a healing book club, a weekly creative group, that type of thing. And then 2 calls a day every day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern, where our community gathers together. And we do very similar to what we do here on Mondays. So I just really want to underscore what Pete is saying here about the challenges and the rewards for the therapists and the helpers. Each of us here, even though we may not be independently licensed clinicians or experts in different therapeutic modalities, I believe that we have shown one another that we are able to consistently and reliably show up here as our authentic selves, where we can hold space with one another, beside one another, with no hierarchy, and we can provide that comfort and that peer-to-peer connection that is a vital part of any type of plan for mental and emotional and physical and the six-dimensional approach that Pete Walker is talking about, the well-being that he describes. So as we go into this portion of challenges and rewards for the therapist / helper, I just want you to know that if you see yourself in this, in some of the challenges and the rewards, it's because you've been showing up for you and you're a part of this community. You have been woven into the fabric of this community in such a way that when you, many of you, each of you, when you're not here on a Monday, there's someone who either messages and says, hey, has anybody seen Nadine? Or, hey, has anybody seen Jeffrey or Ninja Taco? Or, hey, what's going on with Vanessa? What's going on with Jen? I haven't seen Candida. What's going on? Where's Kate? Is Karen here? What's going on with Kitty? And if I haven't mentioned you, hello, trains and sirens. Like there's, and Marzui, like when you're not here, your absence also is felt. So we are sending you warmth, connection, hugs, presence, kindness, and support for those of you who are going through difficult times, because the world is a wild place right now. Yes, of course we care about you when you're not here, Vanessa. Like, for instance, Mary's not here tonight. Like, I see that Mary's not here. Karen is here. She just says she's here. I said hello to you earlier, Karen, but it was when we were getting ready to start breathing, and I probably didn't say it loud, and I was messing with the volume on the music, the meditation music. But like, yes, like when you all are not here, we think of you. Yeah. And if we don't say it out loud, we're still thinking it. Oh, Vanessa, we are all beside you. We are holding this space. I know we didn't see Kate for like a month, and then all of a sudden she was here. And you know who we haven't seen? We know who we haven't seen lately. We haven't seen Kira. We haven't seen Kira in a minute either. It's been a while. Yeah. And also, oh goodness, not Ashley. Asher? Oh, it's an A word. And Mandy J and Lil J. I know. Mandy J and Lil J much prefer the meditations. Yeah, I haven't seen Midnight Blue in a minute either. And if anyone sees Miss Vi, I saw Vi on Facebook, but I haven't seen Vi or Kira in a while. But yes, we are here. We are beside you. We care about you. And I know that we are not your, like what the cool kids say, we're not your IRL besties. Like we're not there physically with you. We are grateful for you. We are grateful for your presence. We are glad that you're here. The world is a better place because of you. And if you, there was a man in front of me at Costco the other day that said, if you're looking for a sign that you matter, this is it. Yes, you, person behind me, I'm talking to you. The man that was pushing his cart in front of me at Costco had a shirt that said that. So, yeah, Kira comes and goes. She usually, whenever she's making pasta or watching Grey's Anatomy, she pops over and says hi and lets us know that she loves us. Yeah. We love you all. So I'm glad we got a chance to pause. Yeah, Nadine says, sending love to you, Vanessa. You matter. To anyone who can hear my voice right now, if you were looking for a sign that you matter and you needed to know that the world is a better place, because you're in it, please just know that this is your sign. The universe or life or a power greater than you or God or whatever you like to refer to. I am here to tell you that you matter, and we are all glad that you are here. Yeah, where's Greg? What's going on with Greg? Greg, if you're here, please say hi. And if you're listening to a replay, please say hello to us. Yeah, hello. Can I just get all cussy about the name changes right now? Like, seriously. Like, what the actual F-ity F is going on with the name changes? I understand the need for mixing it up so that the AI bots don't clone all of us and steal our identities and go start up credit cards and run up our credit and like ruin our lives. Like, I totally get it. Hi, Greg. We're so happy you're here. Greg, I feel like we're all in cheers. Norm. It is stupid Google. So if anyone here has ever doubted that you matter or that we love you, please just know, and Mary, I know you're listening on a replay if you're not here right now. Can you please just say hi in the comments, after the video is rendered? So you can know that we're all here saying hi to you, Mary. We love you. Yes, cuss myself happy. Hello. I do. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I am going back to the book now. I'm going to drive Nadine crazy because I said I was going to start reading and I didn't. So here we are. Sorry, Nadine. I know you're not on my shoulder telling me to start reading because you're just always cheering me on and sending me emojis and hearts and love and comfort and prayers and kindness. But I feel like I really want to read this part because each and every one of us, while we may not be a quote unquote professional helper, we help one another. And as is backed by science and trauma-informed peer-reviewed research in medical journals all over the world, peer-to-peer support is vital for our well-being. It is one of the puzzle pieces. So here we go, top of page 389. Pete says, this is him talking about his career. Let's remember that Pete isn't only a freaking badass who has been healing his own shit for 40 years. This dude is a clinician who had to figure out how to be an adult when he was already an adult because he didn't have the good enough family. And he now shares all of the bad shit he's gone through and how he healed from it. And he teaches other therapists and counselors and helpers and facilitators and organizations how to be better and how to show up in more trauma-informed, CPTSD-informed ways. That's what this dude does. So he is speaking here both as a badass person who has been healing his own shit for 40 years, who didn't have a chance with the parents he was given, but he is a partner, he's a friend, and he's a therapist. But most importantly, in this room right now, he's a survivor. He's a peer. He's beside us. And in this paragraph that I'm going to read you, he is talking about the challenges of being a therapist. And he says, what I find most challenging about this work is that progress is often quite slow and gradual, and it requires a great deal of patient repetition. Failure to accept this reality typically causes clients to regress into their old self-destructive reactions to flashbacks. Typically, they devolve into the self-abandonment of blaming and shaming themselves and self-medicating their pain in unhealthy ways. What I love most about working with CPTSD is seeing clients with long histories of feeling hopeless and helpless gradually becoming self-assured, and empowered. I am delighted every time clients respond to their own suffering with kindness. I feel equally pleased when they report actions of self-protectiveness in the world at large, or in the privacy of their own psyches as they confront their inner critic. I love witnessing the gradual growth of self-confidence and self-expression in my clients. This inevitably seems to grow out of their recovered ability to get angry about what happened to them in childhood, and to use that anger to empower and motivate themselves to face the fear of trying on new, more assertive behaviors. I'm also especially moved when a client learns to cry for themselves in that fully functional, unabashed way where tears release fear and shame. In my experience, nothing resolves fear and catastrophizing obsessiveness like egosyntonic tears. Thousands of times I have witnessed clients grieving in a way that resurrects them from a flashback back into their growing self-esteem and resourcefulness. And finally, the most rewarding proof of the pudding is seeing formerly isolated. Anyone here isolated? This is for you. This is Pete talking directly to you. He says, finally, the most rewarding proof of the pudding is seeing formerly isolated, loner clients finding truly intimate, comforting, safe, and mutually supportive friendships and or partnerships. And I'm just going to add right now that virtual friendships count. And you want to know how I know they count? Because some of my best friends in the entire world right now are people I met in this community virtually while I was living on an island, isolated, farther away from any other piece of landmass in the entire world. I was living on an island in the most remote island chain in the universe, known to us, on planet Earth. And you, people, you, yes you, the people, you, in this community, you all connected with me. You showed up when I offered an open discussion, a live stream. You showed up in the comment section of a video. You showed up in a Twitter chat. You emailed me. You sent me an audio message. You Googled me and found some sort of website and found a way to send a message and join some sort of a group, or you found me on Facebook. You showed up to a live stream on a Monday. You sent me a message on Messenger and asked how you could volunteer and how you could support this community. I have the privilege of having met some of you in person, sitting in a Panera Bread or in a gas station coffee shop or in a hotel lobby or in a church basement or in a car on a road trip, traveling all the way to another one of our friends from this community's college graduation. I have had the privilege of getting to know each of you, many of you, some of you virtually here, and some of you in person. But it began here. Some of my best friends, most of my best friends that I talk to on a daily basis are from this community. And you all have saved my life. So thank you. Next section, top of page 390. Titled, A Final Note to Therapists. This is from Pete Walker, and he says, recovery is best seen as progress, not perfection. In that recovery is lifetime work. Helping a survivor is not an all or none contract. Kindly and wisely guiding a survivor on any part of their journey is a great contribution, especially to the degree that the relational component of the work leaves them more open to fully loving themselves and trusting another human being. My first stint as a client was only for 8 sessions, but the compassion and wisdom of my therapist, Derek Edmonds, gifted me with a quantum leap into a process of effectively grieving. This first experience of being truly vulnerable with another human being was life-changing for me and initiated me onto a 40-year journey that has been blessed by the gracious help of more than 10 truly kind, wisely informed, and wonderfully supportive professionals. Finally, let me state that I have seen copious evidence that most 4F types can progressively recover from the 6 dimensions of wounding listed on the cover of this book that manifest themselves in CPTSD. This recovery unfolds in the following ways. Are you ready for one of Pete's lists? I'm going to give you a list. If you're a note taker, please feel free to share this in the chat box if you want to synthesize it and type it out to share with everyone. This is one of those lists that Pete gives us on how to heal and what it looks like. He says, finally, let me state that I have seen copious evidence that most 4F types can progressively recover from the 6D wounding of CPTSD, and their recovery unfolds in the following ways. Way number one, as an understanding of learned trauma dynamics increases. What that looks like is psychoeducation. Consuming psychoeducational material so that you may better understand and become more well-versed in trauma dynamics, what that actually looks like, okay? The second, that's number one, that's the first way, right? Consuming psychoeducation and learning about trauma dynamics. The second way that Pete says that we can heal from CPTSD is doing all of the things that he has taught us in this book and his other books on shrinking the inner critic. We shrink the inner critic. And if you would like a synopsis of how that happens, I'll tell you right now. You get super pissed off about all the shit you went through as a child, and you get really angry about that, and you let yourself get really angry about that, and what that ends up turning into is self-protection and self-advocacy. And then the second part of that on shrinking the inner critic is that you find ways to show up for yourself in compassionate ways and be extra kind and allowing yourself to grieve and cry and wail and sob and shake. Those are the two things that shrink the inner critic. That's what Pete has told us in this book. We become advocates for the self, and we become warm and compassionate to the self. But the inner critic will not shrink unless we stand up for ourselves and advocate for ourselves and get super pissed off at the inner critic. The third way that Pete says that CPTSD heals is that dissociation decreases. And what are some of the ways that Pete has taught us in this book that dissociation decreases? We find ways to create pockets of safety for ourselves where we can feel safe enough in the moment to be fully present in the moment. Right now, in this moment, if you think you might feel just a tiny bit safer than you did a moment ago or before you decided to listen to this replay or show up here and be fully present with this community, if you feel just a little bit more safe enough, then guess what? You just decreased your dissociation. You've somehow been able to be fully present in this moment long enough to decrease your dissociation. Guess what Pete Walker says about that? He says that you're healing your CPTSD. You are healing. You are healing trauma. We are healing trauma. The fourth way that Pete says that we heal CPTSD and what it looks like is as childhood losses are effectively grieved. That is the weeping and wailing and sobbing and shaking that we talked about earlier. And don't worry, I'll give a synopsis at the end. We all grieve together. You know how many times I've showed up here on a Monday and just my face started leaking and I was just ugly crying in front of all of you and just sharing with you like where I happen to be in my own journey? You held that space for me. You continue to show up even though I come here and I have a very active inner critic and I'm really struggling with understanding what's going on with my trauma, and I maybe have struggled with dissociation that day, or I haven't cried in like a month and I feel emotionally constipated. Like, you all continue to show up here and hold this space, right? The next way Pete says we heal CPTSD is as the healthy ego matures into a user-friendly manager of the psyche. And what that usually looks like is boundaries. Pete taught us in this book what boundaries look like. And when we have healthy boundaries, we become less defensive. When we have healthier boundaries, we become less defensive. We're not guarding ourselves from dying when we have healthy enough, good enough, safe enough boundaries. Right? Number 6, the sixth way is as survivor's life narrative becomes more egocentric. You know what that means? That means focusing on you, showing up for you, making you the priority. What do you need in this moment? For me, that's hard for me. So I start with, am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I tired? Do I need exercise or do I need rest? Right? Do I need to breathe? Do I need to read a book? Do I need to just cocoon or do I need to connect with another human? What voices am I listening to in my head? Am I listening to that inner critic? How's my attitude? When was the last time I went on a walk and got outside in nature for just a few minutes? Am I getting to bed at the same time or relatively the same time every night? Again, just hydrating, nourishing, resting, connecting, getting outside, whatever it is that fills your cup. Like Pete is saying here, that when our life narrative becomes more egocentric, meaning that we have a healthy interest in our own well-being, which if you grew up in an environment where your needs didn't matter and you didn't have the good enough family, chances are you do not have a healthy you don't have a healthy sense of what it is like to be egocentric in a healthy way, right? But all these other things that he's mentioning help you get there. And then he says, number 7, as emotional vulnerability creates authentic experiences of intimacy. Emotional vulnerability creating authentic experiences of intimacy looks like what I do every week when I come here with you. I show up as my authentic self. If I'm struggling, I'm real about it. And I allow myself to be real with you. And you all show up here every single week. You show up for you and you share in the chat box authentically what's going on with you, how you are, where's your headspace, how do you feel in your body, can we breathe for a second, have we walked outside, do we need to hydrate, do we need to nourish, do we need to rest, do we need to move our body, do we need to connect with another human, right? And that increases emotional vulnerability. Being emotionally vulnerable with not safe enough people or half safe people is not a way to minimize dissociation and shrink an inner critic and understand our trauma dynamics and effectively grieve and create healthy boundaries and heal, right? We don't want to be emotionally vulnerable with half safe people. We need to be able to come here in a place where we have discovered and figured out for ourselves if this is a space where we feel safe enough being our authentic selves, being emotionally vulnerable, right? And then lastly, Pete says, as a good enough safe attachment is earned. Ooh, someone's mentioning spiritual bypassing. Can we just go on a tangent about that in a second? But I don't want to skip over what Pete just said about number 8. I'm going to come back to the spiritual bypassing because I have a soapbox rant for that. So Pete's talking about the good enough safe attachment being earned. That's an earned secure attachment. So what that looks like is you are daring and courageous enough to communicate a need that you're not sure is going to be met. And then if the need is met, you communicate that the need was met. If the need wasn't met, you let that person know, like, oh, ouch, like I communicated this with you and this is what happened and I didn't like the way that went. And then they are able to somehow respond and be present for the repair of the rupture in the trust bond. Rupture, repair, rupture, repair. Life and an earned secure attachment style is all about experiencing ruptures and being fully present to repair them with another person who is fully present to repair them. Not perfectly, but in a good enough way, right? And then lastly, Pete closes with this, and then I want to come back to a soapbox rant about spiritual bypassing. Not everyone here is a fan of Cussy Athena, who just cusses herself happy and goes on very long rants and gets very, very, very angry. So if you are not a fan of that version of me because it scares you, please feel free to have a wonderful rest of your evening and skip the end. But if you want to stick around for that, please do. So Pete closes with this. He says, after the list of 8 things, which I'm going to repeat because I promised Nadine that I would repeat it, and the list is very helpful here. So he says, recovery often unfolds in the following ways. Number 1, as an understanding of learned trauma dynamics increases. Number 2, as the critic shrinks. Number 3, as dissociation decreases. Number 4, as childhood losses are effectively grieved. Number 5, as the healthy ego matures into a user-friendly manager of the psyche. Number 6, as survivor's life narrative becomes more egocentric. Number 7, as emotional vulnerability creates authentic experiences of intimacy, which is what we enjoy here on Monday nights. And lastly, number 8, as a good enough safe attachment is earned. And then Pete closes by saying, also, I believe that survivors, that's you, each of you, yes, you. He says, I believe that survivors have acquired a significant level of earned attachment when they internalize their good enough therapists as a safe and supportive introject whose image they invoke, often automatically, for comfort and guidance in times of difficulty. And again, this internalized phenomenon then creates a model and a template for finding such an attachment in the outside world, or as the cool kids call it, IRL. Friends, family, for every one of you who has ever typed in this chat box or sent me a message that said, I heard your voice, Mama Barathina was in my mind, or I remembered your comforting voice when I was struggling, or I was channeling my inner Athena when I was handling that situation, or I was feeling this way and then I remembered your words, Athena. For each and every one of you who have ever said those words to me, I want you to know that it brings me to tears of gratitude. It is the most humbling experience. It is the humbling experience of a lifetime to know that I have somehow, some way, had the privilege and gift of sitting with you, just beside you. That's it. I'm just beside you. We're all in this together, right? I'm never above you in any way, shape, or form. I might be like a step or two ahead of you because I've been healing my shit for like 2 fucking decades, and it's long and hard and horrible, like more than 2 decades, like 25 years almost. But like, I need you to know that it's a privilege of a lifetime to sit beside you and to give you my courage, lend you my courage when you don't have it, or to share my hope with you when you don't have it, or to offer my kindness and compassion to you when you can't muster any up for yourself. It is the absolute privilege of a lifetime. And I'm so grateful for it. So for those of you who are okay with me shifting from tears of gratitude, like filled with just humility and in awe of what a gift it is to be beside you, for those of you who are okay with me shifting into cussy, ranty, soapbox Mama Bear Athena, all about spiritual bypassing, please, please, please feel free to stick around. Otherwise, you know what? That's okay. I love you, and I wish you peace and ease, and I want you to be extra kind and patient and gentle with yourselves because you're worth it, as Jeffrey would say. And now, without further delay, I want you to know that spiritual bypassing and the mind fuckery of spiritual bypassing in the church or in spiritual institutions, and the way that that manifests itself behind closed doors in the home, kept me stuck for 12 fucking years. I could have been 12 years like farther along in my healing journey if it wasn't for the spiritual bypassing facilitated in religious institutions, manifesting itself in the way people show up behind closed doors in their homes. So for all of you spiritual bypassers out there that are leading congregations into saying, all you need is Jesus, you don't need to talk to a therapist, all you need is Jesus. Yes, it's just not 12 steps, it's 1 step. You accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you're done healing. You don't need 12 steps. You don't need a group. You don't need people to sit beside you. You don't need to talk about your problems every day, every week, every month, every year. You don't need that. All you need is this. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck all your friends that want to say that that's all I ever needed. Because guess what? I needed more than that. And you telling me that from the pulpit and in all of my Bible study groups and in all of my small groups and in my Bible study every single fucking morning with my spouse that I was doing it wrong because I wasn't, quote, all the way fucking healed because I needed more than just one step. Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck you. And then fuck you some more. Because you wrecked me. You absolutely wrecked me. You wrecked my life for 12 fucking years. And I literally almost died multiple times by driving my car off a cliff, hoping it would look like an accident because of you. So fuck you. So any person out there that has ever been told that all you need is this and all you need is that and all you need is this one book or this one Buddha or this one source or this one healer or this one guru or this one Bible verse, fuck you. No, 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 no. Pete Walker had his version of a fuckity fuck rant just like this in this book that we just read. And he recommended a book that I'm going to find the title of right now. I'm going to go back and I'm going to find the title of it because that's going to end my rant right now. Because I'm telling you right now that all those people that told me that all I needed was this and not that, and they wanted to lay hands on me and pray for me and get the demons out of me and that I was possessed and that I was doing it wrong, fuck you. Like, you know what? Guess what? I wasn't doing it wrong. You weren't a safe person for me. You were too busy shaming the shit out of me and telling me that I was doing it wrong, and you caused me to feel unsafe in my own home. So fuck you. Okay, now I'm really done. I'm done like telling everybody to fuck off. And now I'm going to find the title of that book that Pete says that it's all about the spiritual bypassing. He says that there's a book that he found very, 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 very helpful. It's something about like when you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him or something. Let's find it. We're going to find it, friends. Family, we are going to find it. We're going to find the name of that book. Oh, I think I'm close. I feel like I'm really, really close. There were two books that I wanted to make sure that I purchase that he recommended because of this spiritual body. Here it is. Found it. Found it at the top of page 385, folks, right above the line that says Silver Linings. We talked about it last week. Today is Monday, December 15th, 2025. Last week, when we were late, we went way long, but Pete recommends these two books, and I'm going to buy them. And he was almost like teeing us up, or like making sure that we were teed up to talk about the spiritual bypassing bullshit, because he says, and while lifetime management may sound as unpalpable as a life sentence in jail, the good news is that with diabetes survivors and how they can become so skilled, so can CPTSD management, that it ongoingly becomes less problematic. Even better, Both sets of survivors, diabetes and CPTSD, can live increasingly rich and rewarding lives. And the best news is that CPTSD, when effectively managed, eventually bestows gifts. Effective recovery work often manifests the significant silver linings described in the next section. Notably, some of these are often less available to those who were not traumatized in childhood. And this is the part where he recommends the two books. And he said, finally, I found Sheldon Kopp's books, Here I Am, Wasn't I? And If You Meet the Buddha on the Road, Kill Him. Exceptionally helpful in deconstructing my long time, once concretized salvation fantasy. Because guess what, folks? The salvation fantasy of the one and done, the all I need to do is this one thing and my CPTSD will go away, the salvation fantasy, yeah, that salvation fantasy was beat into me every fucking day for 12 years by the church, by my Bible studies, by my small groups, and by my spouse. Fuck that. It's a lie. Because guess what? My nervous system is completely fried from soaking my brain in a toxic soup of adrenaline and cortisol, being raised in chronic unsafety for 17 fucking years. And you know what doesn't get rid of that? Accepting Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior. Can it? For some people, maybe. There's 8 billion different ways to fucking heal. But guess who it didn't help? Me. It did not help me to think that all I had to do was pray a prayer and my CPTSD would go away. Because guess what happens when your CPTSD doesn't go away when you wake up the next day? You're positive you're doing it wrong. And you shame the shit out of yourself. And guess what shaming the shit out of yourself and being told that you're doing it wrong feels like? Oh, you guessed it. Your daily moment by moment trauma that you went through during childhood, being raised by people who shamed the shit out of you every single fucking day and told you that you were doing everything wrong. So I was in a continuous, constant trauma reenactment every fucking day for 12 years, including when I was trying to go to church to feel better and trying to go to Bible study and trying to go in small groups and helping and doing and serving and going and doing and helping and going and serving and doing and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving until I bled. Fuck that. Yes, exactly. So if it works for you, God bless you, and I mean that with all my heart. I believe in the neuroscience of creating new neurological pathways and creating new synapses, because modern neuroscience dictates that my brain has a thing called neuroplasticity, and it is not what happened to it, it's whatever I give it. It eats whatever I feed it. When I feed my brain psychoeducational material about how to handle my trauma, guess what happens? Oh, you guessed it, I heal. Guess what happens after I consume psychoeducational material learning about trauma dynamics? Guess what happens then? Oh, I learn how to shrink my inner critic. That's number 2 on Pete's list. Oh, guess what happens then? My dissociation decreases and I heal my CPTSD even more. Guess what happens next? Guess what number 4 is? I learn how to grieve all of my childhood losses effectively, with compassion and kindness. Guess what happens next? I learn to have a healthy ego that is mature, and it matures into a user-friendly manager of my psyche. Why? Because I'm dissociating less and I shrunk my inner critic and I'm learning about my trauma. Guess what happens next after that? My life narrative becomes more about me and less about people pleasing and twisting myself into a pretzel and shaving off all of my sparkly star-shaped edges to fit into other people's boxes so that I can apologize for taking up square footage on planet Earth and apologizing for breathing oxygen and trying to twist myself into whatever version that people want me. That shit happens less. Why? Oh, because I consumed the psychoeducational material that Pete talked about. And I learned about trauma dynamics, and I shrunk my inner critic, and I dissociated less, and I grieved, and I ugly cried, and I shook, and I wept, and I sobbed, and my face squirted out lots of tears. And I shared it here with all of you. Guess what happened after that? I became emotionally vulnerable, and I got to experience authentic experiences of intimacy. And you want to know where one of the first places was that I experienced that? You guessed it, right here on a Monday with you and with my closest and dearest friends in the world who know me better than I know myself, that I met in this community. That's what happened. Oh, guess what the next step was? Notice how I'm farther than one step? Yeah. The next step after that is I found ways to create pockets of safety in my life so I could experience good enough and safe enough attachment with other humans in real life, because I practiced here virtually with you. Guess what happened after that? It's what Pete talks about at the very, 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 very end. I got to internalize my therapist, Sonia, as a safe and supportive introject whose image I invoked automatically, time and time again, when I needed comfort and guidance during times of difficulty. Pete describes this as an internalized phenomenon that has helped me create a model and a template for finding safe enough, good enough attachment in the outside world. And you want to know where all of that didn't fucking happen? In church and in my small groups and in my marriage. That shit did not happen because they were all too fucking busy shaming the shit out of me for not healing fast enough and not hurrying up and not doing it good enough and spiritual enough and religious enough and perfect enough and quick enough and pretty enough. Fucking pretty enough. I had to fucking look pretty the whole time. I had to be in my fucking Sunday best, looking so fucking pretty and perfect, all while I was doing all of that ugly shit that I just described, because I was soaking in a toxic soup of really horrible shit for like almost 2 decades. But yeah, that was supposed to all go away in like a 10-second prayer. No wonder I shamed the shit out of myself for 25 years. No wonder it's taken me this long. Right? So I'll just go on record right now for saying this. Thank you. Yes, you, if you can hear my voice. Unless you're here for the first time and I've just terrified you. That's okay. I didn't mean you. I'm sorry. But for every other one of you, thank you for being my church. Thank you for being the ones who have opened your heart and your home and your computers and your tablets and your devices to those who are in need, or as we are called in the church where people shame the shit out of me, the least of these. Thank you for being the least of these with me, because you know what? You're not the least of these. You are the most. You are my church. You are my people. You are my tribe. You are my community. You are my family. And there is not one person in an institution or a congregation or some place anywhere that is ever going to convince me different. Ever again. Because now I know. Now I know the truth. And you know how I know? Because this that we're all having right now in this moment, this isn't a spiritual one-time experience. This isn't what Pete describes as a salvation fantasy. We're all grounded in reality here, and we know that this is fucking hard work, and we choose to show up week after week, month after month, year after year for 12 fucking years. Like, that's what we're doing here together. And that's what I get to do every single day in our community, away from social media. And I'm grateful for that. Beyond grateful. Grateful beyond words, because this community saved my life. So For those whom I have offended, it was not my intention to offend you. I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack and get a lot of nasty grams for what I said tonight, but it came from the deepest part of my soul. And it is the truest part of me. Will I someday step foot back in a church? Absolutely. I probably will. I really miss it. But will I ever buy the lie that I'm doing it wrong? Fuck no. Never. Never again. No one gets to stand at a pulpit or in a pew or in a room or on a stage or in a book or anywhere else and tell me that I'm doing it wrong. You know why? Because there are 8 billion different ways to heal, and this is my way. This is how I'm choosing to do it. And every single one of you who are here every single week, you know that we're here. We're in the trenches. This is blood, sweat, and years, and we are doing it. And we are healing. We are healing trauma. So again, for those whom I have offended, that was not my intention. I am here and I care, and I will warmly and fully receive any hate mail or nastygram that you choose to send me. I will validate your experience. I will acknowledge the impact of my words on you. I will fully accept that your truth and my truth can sit beside one another in the same pew or in the same room or in the same church basement or in the same virtual space forever and ever. And I will validate every feeling that came up for you because your experience matters. Your reality matters. Your healing matters. I see you. I get you. And you are the only one who gets to choose what works for you. Not me, not some guru, not some Buddha, not some power greater than yourself, and certainly not some fucking human standing up telling everyone that they're doing it wrong. You get to choose it. And I will say this, right? Because we're way over time and I'm going to let you all go. I will say this. I got to have an experience this weekend of being in a room with 30 people, every single one of us with a different set of beliefs. Please don't miss this. 30 of us in a room, nearly every one of us with a different set of beliefs. Some of them pro-life, some of us pro-choice. People on the right, the left, the middle, whatever. People from all walks of life, all different faiths, beliefs, geoeconomic, geopolitical, socioeconomic, different walks of life, different unemployed, employed, retired, all the way down to little baby infants. The age range in that room was just a few months to almost 90. Yes, I said it. 30 of us in a room, every single one of us, spanning nearly a century from just a few months old till almost 90 years old. And you want to know what I felt there? I felt accepted. I felt loved. I felt seen, heard, valid, understood. I felt safe. I felt cared about. And I felt liked. I felt welcome. And I wish that for each of you. Yes, grace. Boundless grace. So much grace, so much warmth, so much acceptance and kindness and gentleness and patience and all of the things that are listed. It was truly life-changing for me. I didn't want to leave. And the most incredible thing is, I've experienced it there, in that home before. Dozens of times. It was a gathering at one of my friends' houses. Thank you for asking what kind of gathering it was, Kitty. It was an annual Christmas celebration. We all stood around in a circle and we all said grace and gave thanks for our food, and everyone gathered around and got in a big line, and we all loaded up our plates and we sat around and we talked and we played games till 1 a.m, and there were kids playing outside, and they were playing cornhole and they were playing catch and drawing on the chalk with sidewalk and eating candy and swinging in hammock swings and playing different games and remote control cars and reading poetry and singing songs, and like just there it was just everything was going on everywhere, and it was the most it was so beautiful. It was very intimate and safe and beautiful, and I feel blessed that I got to be a part of it. And I wish that for each of you. Thank you all so much. You all are so amazing. You know what, Kitty? Kitty says, I feel like I never get to do anything fun like that. You want to know something? I thought I never would. And a few years ago, back in the fall of 2021, I made the bravest decision I've ever made to leave a life that I created for myself that I thought was safe enough but wasn't. I was in a decade-long, almost 12-year relationship with someone, and I thought it was safe enough, and it just wasn't. It didn't end up being safe enough for me. It was good for a time, but I made the very brave decision to get away from that. And when I did that, I had the good fortune of finding ways to create pockets of safety for myself. And what I just described to you at the home that I was spending time at, that's one of the pockets of safety that I was able to create for myself. I really wish that for you, and I'm so sorry, Kitty. Kitty, I have thought those words and written those words countless times, and I didn't think I was going to ever be able to do what I did, and I'm so very sorry that you're in the place you're in, truly. Truly, with my hand on my heart. If I could just scoop you up and just fly you away somewhere, I would right now. But I know that your presence here in this community matters way more than you know. And I hope that this is a place where you can come and have a little bit of a respite every single week. because we value you here. We treasure you. We are grateful for you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to share. Thank you for being here. Thank you to each of you. With my hand on my heart, I am filled with gratitude for this community. Next week, I believe, let me just look at the calendar. Next week, we have Pete's list. We are in chapter 12 next week. Is Nadine still here? And I'm not sure if Karen is still here. I might have scared Karen away. If I scared Karen away, I feel bad. I'm so sorry. For any of you that I scared away, I'm very sorry. Next week, we start with chapter 12. And Pete talks about some of the helpful handouts that he has for his clients. And he gives us access to all of those. Okay? And then remember a few months ago when we did the Human Bill of Rights, we're talking about that again. And then we have the protection from inner critic attacks. And that is probably where we will end. And then the following week, we will talk about tools for lovingly resolving conflicts and steps for managing flashbacks, which we went over, I think, 3 weeks ago. And then we'll probably end the night with some affirmations. So let's look at the calendar. So the 22nd is next week. And then the following week is the 29th. And that's where we'll end with the affirmations. And then the following week on January 5th, I'm not here with you. I'm with my grandson. And then we're going to start all over on week 1, all over again on January 12th. At the beginning of the book. And I will change up the thumbnail so that you know that the first 28 weeks is we hopped around the book. And then the second 28 weeks, or the second set of weeks, is starting over from page 1. And then I think I'm going to start putting some meditations and breath work here on the channel for you to access anytime. Because I don't want you to not have that. And I know that Mandy J and Lil J love it. I know Kitty loves it. I know many of you really enjoy the meditations and affirmations and breath work. So I'll do a better job of that. Okay? So that's what's on deck, and I'm really looking forward. So I'm probably going to, change up the thumbnails just so everyone knows, what we did with Pete's book the first go around, and then what we're going to do with the second go around. Because I'll go on record saying it again. I believe this is Pete's most accessible work ever. I believe it is the most comprehensive. I believe it is the most life-changing. It includes excerpts from every book he's ever written. And I believe that this book will save people's lives. And it will help them heal decades and decades and decades of trauma. I know this to be true because it has helped my healing journey over the past several months with you. Just being the person that's here sharing it with you. So, yes, January 5th, no Athena. Ah, Jeffrey. I will send you a hug. And for each of you, I will miss you, obviously. But guess what? While I will be missing you all on January 5th, my little precious grandson and I will be living our very best life. We will be playing toys and hanging out and building pillow forts and eating fun food and singing songs and having dance parties. And I just get to go be Nana. I get to go be Nana. And Nana is probably who I love being the most in the whole wide world, with a close tie, like a close first place tie of getting to be like here with you all, like in this community, because I love it a lot. So yes, I will miss you, and I will be living my very best Nana life, because Nana life is the best life. I have a sign up on my wall that you can't see that says Nana life is the best life. So I'm going to let each and every one of you go. I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you for enduring my rant, and I treasure each of you. Please be extra kind, patient, and gentle with yourselves, because you are worth it. And I love you all so much. Good night, everyone.